Ladies and gentlemen, the situation is very serious. What has just happened in the Russian capital Moscow, what NATO has just done in Moscow, is very serious. Yes. What do you mean? We could not have imagined that NATO's Ukraine could behave this way. And also, and above all, we wonder what the Russian intelligence services were doing. Since when we explained the story to you, I will explain the scenario to you shortly, how it happened, so that this Russian general was sent so quickly and easily to eternal rest. You won't believe it. You won't be able to get over it. No, not at all. So, a general of the Russian army, a general, not just any, has just been sent to eternal rest today, April 25th, 2025, at exactly around 10:40 a.m. Yes. And this happens the day after Vladimir Putin's announcement, since Putin announced that Russia would enter into direct confrontation with NATO in the coming weeks and months. Because the practices of NATO, of certain NATO member countries, are such that they encourage adherence to the Russian nuclear doctrine as they provoke Russia. And these are states that possess nuclear weapons. So, NATO, knowing that they cannot defeat Russia on the battlefield, resorts to this action of a booby-trapped vehicle. Yes, but the worst part, in fact the height of it, is that it wasn't the general's car that was booby-trapped as such, according to the initial information we have. But everything was done, put in place to ensure that the general would go to his eternal rest. So what exactly happened? What really happened? According to the official information shared the video conference, according to the official information, the Russian general known as Yaroslav Moskalik was sent to his eternal rest in Moscow in the explosion of his vehicle. We are told that it was a vehicle that exploded. But the real issue is that the explosive was not in his vehicle. It wasn't in his experience. What really happened? The gentleman who is considered suspect number one, the general in question, this Russian general, lived with this gentleman in the same building. They lived in the same building. And this gentleman, he came to park a car, a Volkswagen Golf car. He parked his Volkswagen, on April 16th. When he parked on April 16th, he stayed on the 17th, the 18th. That is to say, he rested well to ensure everything was fine. On the 19th, he took his flight to Turkey. But this gentleman in question has Ukrainian origins. He is originally from the Ukrainian city of Sumy. And we all know what Russia has subjected Sumy to. One wonders, did this gentleman do it out of simple revenge to avenge the strategic city of Sumy? Since we know what happened there very recently, it is from this strategic city of Ukraine that the Ukrainian military elites entered the city of Kursk, the Russian region of Kursk, and they were never able to turn back. And at the same time, Russia invaded Kursk. Russia invaded Sumy. So he is originally from the city of Sumy. Was he sent by NATO? Was he sent by Ukraine? The Russian intelligence services, being very powerful, are capable of detecting to the minute who is communicating and which communications are likely to disturb public order. Even more so, this matter of car bombs. So, how is it possible that The Russian intelligence service did not understand. That means it was strategic. It was strongly prepared, highly prepared. What's the worst part? The worst part is that the gentleman is moving on the 19th to Turkey. So the 19th, we have the 20th, the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th. So 6 days later, today, April 25th, 2025, at 10:40, the vehicle explodes. We wonder, did he have the detonator from over there, from where he went? That is to say, the guy took 6 days to rest well, to rethink his plans, so that as soon as he finishes with the thing, he can be truly safe. So, he returned to where he wanted to leave. He first fled before taking action. What makes the situation even more difficult is that he can perhaps at any moment deny it, saying that he doesn't know, that it wasn't him who placed those explosives in the vehicle, it was someone else, since he left his vehicle and went away a week later. So, according to the official information, we receive, the person responsible for sending General Yaroslav and Lieutenant General Yaroslav to eternal rest lived with him in the same building on 2 Nestorov Boulevards. That's the name, that's the address of the place, 2 Nestorov Boulevards. The suspect is called Iñak Kuzen. Iñak Kuzen. There you go. So, then, as we were saying, on April 19th, he took this money to Turkey. And today, the explosion occurred at 10:40, when Moskalik, the lieutenant general, left his house. The general therefore died he died instantly, on the spot. So, the important detail is that it must be reminded once again that Iñak Kuzen is originally from the Ukrainian city of Sumy. He bought the car in February 2025. So he buys the car in February 2025. March, April, he proceeded with his task. This means, in a way, it's a car bought specifically for that. He bought the car in February 2025 and behaved normally. He did not arouse any suspicion. According to the information we are receiving, he behaved like a normal man. He did not arouse any suspicion. Here is the sad news about Moscow. For the moment, Ukraine has not yet claimed responsibility. But we continue to follow and we will see everything that will happen. That was the headline of international news. Don't hesitate to share it as much as possible. I'll be back shortly with more news. That was the voice of your one and only samurai.